So don't just slip by. These days they will come and go. That's how you build a good life. One step, two steps, three, and it's over. Five into six again. Seven steps, eight steps, nine, and I'm older. Trying to figure.
So y'all, it's later in the afternoon. This morning I got a little over an hour and a half of writing done today, and now I want to do another writing session. So I'm gonna make myself another cup of coffee because I am getting afternoon slumps and I need so much energy to power through this next writing session. I want to do another writing sprint because I really want to get this first draft done. I'm trying to lock in today. Today is just nothing but a writing day, and I did have a big gap between this morning and this afternoon right now, so I definitely need a cup of coffee to pick me up, give me some more energy, and get through this writing session. I am using the 27 chapter method to get through this novel because, like I said before, I shifted the way the plot direction is going, and I thought using 27 chapter outline method would help me, but I am still stuck in the reaction part where she's reacting to what happened in the midpoint. So right now I need to move on to the next chapter where the antagonist is trying to make her life live a nightmare, basically make it 10 times worse. So I'm trying to get to that part right now, and it's really hard because I just, like I said in my other videos, I don't know why it's just so hard for me to write the antagonist. Maybe I'm scared it's going to be cringy, but right now is not the time to worry about, oh, does he sound cringy? Does it sound perfect? Is this sentence beautifully structured? None of that. No, we're going to write so messy. Honestly, I am tempted to write in different color font or write in different color because I'm trying to turn off the inner critic right now. So I might write in different font, might write in different color, whatever it's going to take for me to finish writing this book. So yeah, I'm gonna go in the kitchen and make myself an afternoon pick me up, and then we're gonna like continue writing. I don't know how long I'm gonna write for this session. I thought about maybe another 2 45-minute sprints. I don't know, maybe 2 hours. We'll just see what
Figure out where I fit in. So hold yourself tight. So hold yourself tight. Everything will work out fine. So hold yourself tight. So hold yourself tight. Everything will work out fine. So hold yourself tight.
Oh my gosh, y'all, we are already at the 60-day mark. Time is flying so fast. We're getting so close to the end of this challenge, and I'm still not done with the first draft of my book, but I'm so proud of how far that we have came. Y'all, it is already hot outside, and I barely stepped out the door. And good Lord, it's hot, it's bright. I'm ready to go back inside. But I'm trying to get my steps in and trying to do some walking this morning. I tried to do it first thing. I did it yesterday, but I'm trying to do some more this morning. Trying to stay consistent. So let's get some steps in. 65 days in, y'all, is insane. So let me just show y'all something really quick about I feel like I need to show you guys the messy progress. As you can see, y'all, I have 4 tabs open, 4 tabs. So this is all my rough ideas. This is the story premise, what I want the story to be about. This is bullet list ideas, and this is my characters, and this is like a brain dump of other ideas I have. This is what I thought what needs to happen. And then the draft I started. This is the draft I started back in March. And you can see it's so messy. Notes, the chapters aren't very. This is the part where I was writing the other plot, but I didn't like it and I changed it because I didn't like the way it looked. And then I started writing over here in this draft because I was still confused. I was still a little not sure about the plot. And then finally at the end of it, I started to pivot and change it here because I felt like that was a little bit more better plot. I was going back to why I fell in love with the story in the first place. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I just need a new draft. So I decided to write at the midpoint because technically where I started to change the plot. As you can see, my drafting process is chaotic. It's scattered. It's all over the place. And it's just a hot mess. Honestly, I feel bad for my future self because I'm going to have to sit down and revise and edit and sort through all of that. So my plan is to this week try to finish the novel as much as I can. Try to get through it, try to get all that stuff. And next week, my plan is to stitch it all together. Next week, just work. Not trying to act like it is the second draft revision because I don't want to fall into the trap that I'm doing second draft revisions. So I'm trying to let it be messy, set a timer, probably just give myself a day to do that because that way I'm telling my brain, Hannah, this isn't the second draft. This isn't the final edits. We're not revising. We're not editing. None of that. We are literally just putting everything in one document to make it easier to find when it's time to edit. When it's time to read the first draft and then edit it. That way, it can save myself a headache. We're not revising none of that stuff because I'm trying to keep this mindset that the first draft is messy. Disclaimer, y'all, I did not write 2,000 words in this writing session. That is just a mixture of just everything, y'all. So basically, during this writing session, I went through you remember I told y'all I have just random different documents everywhere. And one of those documents is my documents of random scenes, ideas I had maybe late at night or early in the morning or just randomly throughout my day. And I just sat down my laptop, I wrote it down as fast as I could, or when I was just trying to figure out what this novel is trying to be, playing around, writing scenes that I potentially will want to appear in this book, and also the official first draft of the novel. And I just been going around adding stuff in it because I have reached a point in the story where there was a scene that I really liked and I wanted to add into the book. I think it's a part of the story. All is lost scene. We're getting to the darkest moment. We're heading close into the third act of this book, and I'm trying to write it down, get it down as fast as I can. And I am so grateful, y'all, that I have these scenes written out already because it saved me so much time because the deadline is literally next week, and next week is the last week of 75 Heart Writing Challenge, and I'm trying to hustle to finish this book. And originally 4th of July was supposed to be my original deadline, but let's be realistic here. I had to stop and change the plot midway. So I'm just being realistic. There's no way I could have made that deadline. I don't know why I thought I could, but I just want to say it is so okay if you need to change your deadline or you need to push it back some, because sometimes as a writer, you don't always stick to that deadline, but it's good to have a North Star or know when your deadline is so you can work hard towards that finish date, because you go on forever and ever when it comes to drafting. So I don't know if I mentioned this in my other videos, but I remember I told y'all that I was giving his antagonist a point of view. I decided for his character arc to be like when characters fall into madness where they go mad or they just have like a negative arc. And I know I was reading these articles about this author. I forgot her name. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll put it on the screen if I remember. But she made an article and I need to reread it again about how There's multiple different types of character arcs. There's a total of 5, and there's 2 that are positive. Technically, 1 is positive, 1 is flat, and there's 3 negative arcs. And I want to give him one. I can't remember which arc it was that aligns best with the arc of a character going mad or going insane. I think it's the fall arc. And I want to use that arc for his character because he doesn't learn his lesson at all. He sees the truth but completely ignores it. And I just want him to fall mad. He loses his mind, and it's like maybe a tragic ending for him. And I do obviously want the protagonist. I want her to have a positive arc. I want her to change. I want her to see the truth and then reject it for a minute, and then she like accepts the truth, and she's like, "Oh wait, this is why the lie I believe is wrong. I need to accept the new truth." But anyway, but that's where I'm going with this. I'm doing back and forth, and honestly, I was writing the point. What really got me stuck, and I had to put a placeholder, was that I was writing the point, y'all, where he officially snaps. How when the character snap, they do something crazy or insane. They're like, "What?" I don't know how to describe it. They do something insane. They're like, "Oh God." Like they finally lost their mind moment. He finally lost his mind moment. So I'm trying to write that, y'all. I tried to cringe at myself by writing it, y'all, because I was like, I'm not good at writing antagonists. I'm trying to get good. And I just tried to accept the messiness of it. And he does something stupid. He does something that is going to have consequences to it. So, but in his eyes, he thinks he's doing what is right and all this stuff. But I'm still trying to write it out. I had to put like a placeholder for it because I just couldn't could finish writing out without cringing myself to death. So I just put a placeholder, said something needs to happen here. He needs to do this and that. And that's where I left it off. But I still kept writing like then I wrote the last part of the chapter where I wrote the last few sentences of that chapter, then I moved on to the next one. I like to do this every time I'm done with a writing session. I like to write 1 or 2 sentences for future me tomorrow. So that way, when I walk into the session, I'm not staring at a blank page because I just think it's a good idea to leave a page blank. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes it's hard for me to start because I have writer's block and I overthink it. And then the inner critic steps in, and I try my best to find a way to prevent it. I've given myself a little head start, a little push, and I have an idea of where I want to start the chapter. I don't have to sit there and think for most of the first writing session of what this chapter is going to be. I left notes and clues to what I want this chapter to be. Even though even though I'm writing 1 or 2 sentences to let myself know how this chapter is going to start, I think I need to start leaving myself little notes. Google document, obviously, everybody knows you can leave notes on the side or comments. I think I should start adding notes of what I want to happen in this chapter. I did it for 1 of the chapters. I don't know why I did that once and then stopped doing that habit. It's a habit I need to pick back up again, but I definitely want to lay out and map out, not do full outline, but just let myself know like, hey, this chapter is about this and that. And that's why I love doing a 27 chapter method. It really is guiding me on which I should, if I'm really stuck on what happens to the chapter, I just go back to that outline. I go back to the article and just read what is supposed to happen in this chapter. It's not rigid. It's not strict. You can make it flexible. The thing that's supposed to happen in chapter 20 can happen throughout multiple chapters. So you don't have to stay stuck at just that one narrow chapter because I feel like you box yourself in and you be overthinking and worrying, did I stay with this chapter or not? But anyway, I'm going to go outside and get some fresh air, give the pets a walk. They've been cooped up in the house for a good minute, and I know they want to go outside again. And I'm just going to do some reading. And see y'all outside. Okay, so before the day ends, I want to sit down and write in my 75. I was about to say 72. I need to write in my 72. Where did I get that from? I need to write in my 75 hard writing tracker. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. There have been like, if y'all hear a noise in the background, it's my humidifier and not humidifier, dehumidifier, and sorry for the noise in the background. But sometimes like I do like almost forget to like journal, like write down the progress I made, and I have to go back later and do it. And yes, but I'm not trying to beat myself up on it, feel bad, like, but so I'm just being human. If I'm being so real, sometimes I forget to write it down. And definitely during the vacation, y'all, I'm gonna be so honest, like there were some moments where I really just didn't write down. I had to like write stuff down after I got back from vacation. So I'm just being real. Like, don't feel bad if you're doing this challenge and you forget to like write down your word count, write down the habits you did. That's just being human. Anyway, I'm talking too much. I'm going to like go ahead and journal it right now.
Once in a while I dream. Once in a while I think of you. I reminisce on days gone by when you and I were new. Once in a while I
Get it like straight
hoping that you'd return to me, but I know that you're not coming back, so once in a while I dream. Each moment passes like hours. Each day is dark as the night.
That rain was coming down so hard. I was not expecting that at all. Literally, the day started off sunny, bright. I thought it was gonna be a clear, sunny day all day. And the rain came out of nowhere. We tried to hurry up and get through the store and get to our car as fast as we could. We tried to beat the rain. Y'all, it was raining so hard on the way home. People were pulled over to the side of the road because it was raining that hard. You could hardly see in front of you. And I was like, Mom, do you think we should pull over? And she was like, nah, we got this. We keep going. So we just drove, put on our hazard lights and drove really slow. But let me tell y'all also, before all that happened, I was getting back in the car trying to get ready to go to Kroger's, and my phone slipped out of my hand and it just smacked screen first onto the concrete. And I was like, oh my God, oh my gosh. And I was like panicking. I was like, please, God, please. Because I literally use my phone to film. I use my phone to make thumbnails. I use my phone to edit sometimes. I use my phone for a lot of things. And the last thing I need is my phone to crack and mess up. So the phone is perfectly fine. It's really good. I have a really, thankfully, my phone is okay. I have a really durable case. It's a wallet case. This is probably the best case I have ever had for my iPhone 14 Pro Max. But let me tell y'all, it was such a cozy, rainy afternoon. I came home and I put some nuggets and some tater tots in the oven, and I curled up in my bed and just ate nuggets and the tater tots. Y'all, it was just such a cozy vibe listening to the rain fall outside. Rain is just hit so differently in the afternoon. It's just so cozy and inviting. All you want to do is curl up in bed with a good book and a really good meal or snack. Oh, I used to hate the rain, but I'm starting to fall in love with rain. But anyway, in my writing session, I did around 2,000 words. And again, it was because I wrote all of them. Well, kind of. I did write them, but you know, that random scene doc I had, I just copied and pasted for the scene doc. And I did insert more words and details because there was some areas I felt like I could add more stuff. But it was really hard to not go into editing mode because there was a few times during the session I was trying to go into editing mode, trying to add things, delete things, fix grammar, and change the sentence structure. And I'm like, Hannah, this is the first draft. Stop thinking like it's the second draft and just copy and paste and literally just move on. And that's the hard part of it, having it in separate documents, is that and you try to copy and paste it into the main document, you're so tempted to go into editing phase because you just want to sound good. You know the first draft's messy and you're trying your best to fix it, and you're just worried about, I don't know, there's a term for it. There's a term for it when that thought in your mind that someone's looking over your shoulder and just reading over your stuff. But I try to tell myself no one's literally reading. Everybody is minding their business, and obviously I don't plan to share this draft with anyone else. So I had to copy and paste and just move on. I've tried to read it as well because I want to know which direction I'm going with this. And then I finished that whole chapter. Now moving on to the next chapter. So I'm still using the 27 chapter method. And I got to chapter 21. So my plan is tomorrow, all next week, is just write one chapter a day. And I'm going to do it tomorrow as well because Abby Emmons is having a live stream writing session. And I love going to her writing live streams. They're just so cozy. When I see other people writing, it makes me want to just sit down and write. That's why I love joining her live streams. I love reading people's comments in the chat. I love hear her insight on people's questions about characters and plotting and even publishing. So I am going to join that live stream tomorrow, but I think I'm going to show up a little bit earlier, 30 minutes ahead, just to get a head start on writing, just get myself already in that writing space before the session starts. Maybe 30 minutes ahead. I thought about maybe an hour. I don't know, but I'm just going to use that as guidance because she usually does an hour, 30-minute sprint. So that's about 2 45-minute sessions right there. Now, I thought about doing live streams for this 75 Hard Writing Challenge, but I'm gonna be real. I'm kind of nervous to do that because it's just like you can edit. The thing why I'm so nervous about doing is because with this, I can edit out the awkward moments, the awkward pauses when I need to think and collect my thoughts. And with a live stream, obviously you can't. Everybody's looking at you and see what you're doing. And then I'm also worried about what if someone has questions for me when it comes to writing. And I'm like, I'm learning just like y'all. Believe me, I do not have all the answers, but I feel like I would try to answer it as best I could. But I just feel like I don't know what coming on my live stream thinking that I have enough knowledge like Abby Emmons does. And I will feel really bad because I would really want to help someone that needs it. Also, too, it's just that I don't live alone. I have other people that live with me, and it'd be hard to find the time to just do it when they're not around. And then also, I thought about throughout the week as well, but then people have to work. I'm just trying to find a perfect time to do it. But let me know y'all suggestions and thoughts in the comments below. Would y'all want me to do a live stream? Would y'all enjoy that? Because I imagine it so many times of doing a live stream on this channel. And another thing too is that I'm frightened about is I do a live stream and no one shows up, because I have heard creators say that before, that they hosted live stream and they literally just had no one show up. So I don't want to be sitting in this virtual coffee shop alone. But anyway, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would y'all want me to do a live stream? But anyway, I'm gonna stop yapping right here and I'm gonna come back with y'all tomorrow when I sit down and join the live stream.
Stay subscribed to this channel.